Hey Canelo, if the WBC asks you to either fight Golovkin next or give up the belt, what do you do?
I'm ready.
You ready? So we're gonna see Golovkin in May or what?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
There it is.
Hi, I'm Liana.
And I'm Akira.
And you're watching
Dontae's Boxing Nation.
Dontae's Boxing Nation back over here with my man Fred.
Man.
We just watched another one, man. Your first thoughts?
I thought the score margins was way too big, Dontae. I actually had it 6-6. I thought Cotto dictated the fight moving backwards. Like Floyd Mayweather, similar, not Floyd Mayweather, but Floyd Mayweather is. You know, like he was dictating where Canelo should go. Obviously, he wasn't landing the harder punches, but I thought that wide margin was just a lack of respect. And more importantly, they know who's next in boxing, who's making money. I have no issue saying that this was a monetary decision in terms of marketability and who's next in boxing. Cotto is obviously on the other side of the mountain, and who knows how much better Canelo can get. He's only 25, but he's had close to 50 fights. So, but it was just one of them decisions, you know. Whether they had that decision to make that decision before the fight, I don't know, but I could see Canelo winning 7-5, Dontae, but not 10-2, 11-1.
Damn near.
No, it was just and I had money on Cotto, so I'm kind of heartbroken.
We both did. We both had.
You know, I had Cotto by majority decision because I knew in my prediction. The only thing I got right in my prediction video was he was going to box him, and two, Cotto's going to win by majority decision because of the politics of boxing. And the politics of boxing played a huge part in what these decisions and what these judges did tonight, without a doubt. You know, Cotto was a much better fighter than what the scorecard showed. Oh, for sure. No doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind. And now the question is, can you beat Canelo in Vegas? Laura found
or
out.
Texas.
Or Texas. Laura, I haven't been to Texas for a fight. I sat ringside for Laura. I was up in the press box tonight, but can you beat Canelo in Vegas now? You know, he's the moneymaker.
That could be a title of a video right there.
Yeah, he brings 9,000 Mexicans. He brings 9,000.
Hold it while I'm walking.
Yeah, he brings 9.
I'm telling you the fight was
He brings 9,000.
The fight was not even close.
He already know what you see. He already know what you're saying, Freddie.
We spoke already.
Oh, that's why. That's why. Well, it wasn't a draw,
No,
Smitty.
are you kidding me?
It was a draw.
119 to 109.
Oh, so you had it a landslide.
It wasn't even close.
Because I'm reading the comments from the video I just dropped, and I'm seeing all these comments of...
From who? People that have ever been inside the squared circle, people that know how to score a fight, people that know
You don't have to...
But there's a lot of people agreeing with you that's never been in the ring before.
Well, they don't know anything either. The bottom line is there's 4 criteria to score a fight, right? We went over that, didn't we?
Ring generalship is subjective because Canelo dictated the fight moving backwards. No, let's start there.
Well, Cotto definitely showed ring generalship.
He dictated the fight moving backwards and moving laterally. Canelo couldn't find him to land the right hand. Only when Canelo stood in front of him.
Well, he did a good job of generalshipping.
He just didn't have the power. He didn't have the power.
Yeah.
Cotto did not have the power.
Canelo controlled the landscape of the fight. In terms of who controlled that fight, it was Canelo Alvarez. There were times that he took some time off. I think stamina management. He was trying because he has a tendency to get tired later on. But from the beginning, the guy who landed the cleaner, harder, crisper punches
landed the harder punches
was Canelo Alvarez. The only guy who got hurt at all in the fight was Miguel Cotto in round number 8, the round that I predicted it, by the way. But you know, I think Cotto did a great job. He should ride off into the Puerto Rican sunset. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's not going to win a rematch with Canelo. He has no chance against Triple G. And for Canelo Alvarez, all kinds of great opportunity, but he needs to let that Triple G fight percolate. Oh, wow, he needs to let...
Why? No, see, here's the issue, Smitty. Why are we saying we need to let it percolate? He said we're fighting at 155. How come the little guy never wants to go up and fight the big guy? Well, how come? How make the fight happen? It's a 160 belt.
I don't think that Canelo has ever walked away from anybody. He fought Floyd Mayweather. He's 23 years old.
He's running from Triple G.
No.
He's running to Guadalajara, Mexico, and not fighting.
You think he's going to fight Golovkin next, Smitty?
No, I don't think he
That's
needs
the only. So who could he fight?
How would he run from anybody? The only guy running tonight was Miguel Cotto.
No.
Canelo fought Floyd at age 23. He needs, in boxing, if you guys have been around, you let it percolate. He needs to get a little bit larger. He needs to try to let Triple G get a little bit older, and it'll be great for boxing.
So basically, you're saying he's ducking him. He needs to let Triple G.
No, that's not ducking. That's going on from the history of boxing.
He's creating an advantage by not fighting him now. That's what
Smitty, you don't want to see that fight right now, do you?
He basically don't want to see the fight.
I love
You're a
the
Canelo
fight.
fan.
I'm a Triple G. I was just with Triple G in China. I love both fighters, and I've told you earlier that in terms of, I think Triple G is in a different area code than anybody in the world at 160 pounds. Canelo's only 25. He's already fought the best out there. Let him take some time, defend his title.
Canelo probably walked in at 170 tonight.
Probably. Well, that's a whole
probably more than that.
170, 170, looking like Fernando Vargas when he fought De La Hoya.
Let me tell you something. If you go back to me, we've had this conversation. I believe they should weigh in this day of the fight like we did when, and all the great champions back in the day did, where they were actually the weight. You're right about that. You can't be a middleweight and come into the ring at a $170 or 75 or like Chavez Jr., where you come in at a heavyweight,
or a mandatory rehydration clause.
But the bottom line, it was the redheads night. He gets it done. All kinds of great opportunity. Miguel Cotto rides off into the, and I'll see him in Canastota at the Hall of Fame. Great guys, good seeing you.
All right.
You're wrong. It wasn't close.
Smitty did a drive-by on you, man.
Smitty
He did a drive-by on
me,
you.
but it's he feels privileged because he's been in the boxing game longer, but he's absolutely
and his
wrong.
boy won. He's jumping up and down.
His boy won. He picked the fight, but I mean, we can respectfully disagree. There's no hard feelings, but Canelo needs to fight Triple G now. I don't care what Oscar De La Hoya say. I don't care what anyone else say. The only fight out there, Cinco de Mayo or Mexican Independence Day, is Triple G. Period. End of discussion. Because if Floyd Mayweather fought Andre Berto.
Yeah.
Now, if Canelo goes and fight an Andre Berto type, what happens?
They're going to praise him. They're going to say it was a terrific performance.
Exactly.
And they're going to compare it to how exciting Mayweather-Pacquiao was and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. So we need to hold the same standards that we hold in Andre Ward to right now.
Absolutely.
Because they got on him for fighting. He was a bum. The guy Rigondeaux fought was a bum. So why could Canelo have to go fight a bum? He needs to fight. Who's next in line? Triple G?
They're saying that they may put Canelo in there with Tim Bradley next.
See, that goes to show you. That goes to show you where they want Canelo. And is Timothy Bradley the drum or the drummer? You see what I'm saying? So, and this same question I asked for Andre Ward. They put him in between Triple G and Kovalev. Is Andre Ward the drum of HBO or the drummer of HBO? Are they using his past accolades to set him up for failure? See what I'm saying? Like, he jumps up to him, although he probably can't make 160 right now. It would take him some time because, when your muscles go dormant, your body kind of gets into a non-fat burning stage, and it's difficult to sustain muscle and keep it down. So, is he accelerating himself up too fast to fight at 175? Because Andre Ward, I interviewed him yesterday. He's probably walking around at 185 right now. If that, he looks in tremendous shape. And for them to say Canelo is fighting Timothy Bradley, and Timothy Bradley would take that fight because he's a fighter. He's a 100% guy who just wants to fight. He doesn't care who it is. He hasn't taken a fight off in years. And now you're gonna yell at Floyd Mayweather fighting Andre Berto. But Canelo just fought James Kirkland.
Yeah, and not only that, Fred, but they also talking about Canelo might fight David Lemieux next.
Now you see the bullshit that's going on, Dontae. You see the bullshit that's going on. Now, if a black fighter goes on and do this, we get
and you get the Berto effect.
You get the Berto effect. And the sad and truth about it, just fight the best fighters. If he's I don't care. If he's 160, fight him at 160. If he's 150, fight. If he's 147, fight him at 147. Be a man about it. I think Canelo has a bright future. Have we seen his ceiling? Maybe. I don't think he can get much better because he's carrying around more muscle now. So he's not going to be fleet of foot anymore. If you saw him in the ring tonight, he looked well over 170. He's not going to be fleet of foot.
He looked like a monster.
He looked like big, and
he made Cotto look like Pernell Whitaker.
He did, and he was doing some Pernell Whitaker moves. And some people in the press room, in the press box, were saying, is Canelo on steroids? I've never seen him in that big. You know what I mean? And I don't believe he would be on steroids, but I'm just saying
I was looking at his back, and I was like, damn. And I kept saying to everybody sitting next to me, like, damn, look at his back.
He's ginormous.
He looked like a bodybuilder. He looked like a professional bodybuilder up in there.
He's ginormous. And round one, I looked at him, Dontae, and I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
This guy is ginormous, you know?
So it doesn't make sense. You don't believe that's a good excuse that he's not ready, he's not big enough to fight at middleweight.
Dontae.
That's the size he was at?
He fought the best fighter in the world already, Floyd Mayweather. Why the fuck isn't he ready now? Floyd Mayweather is the best fighter in the last... I always say, I'm always going to say Roy Jones is the best fighter I ever see. I seen him beat a guy not throwing a punch. I seen him win a round by not landing a punch, and I seen him not beat a guy with one hand. So Roy Jones is the best fighter I've ever seen in my adult stage. I was obviously a fan of Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, Marvin Hagler, and all them guys in the younger days. But Canelo is ready. If he fought Floyd Mayweather at 22 years old. How the fuck isn't he ready for Triple G? They said they need to let his grown man muscles. He walked in the ring I'm gonna say over 170. I don't know, I didn't get the TV feed. He walked in the ring over 170, looked well under 10% body fat because he was in there with astronomical muscles, Dontae. So it's just, they need to cut that bullshit. He's not ready. Canelo is ready to fight anyone in the world right now. He can even fight at 160. Really, he can go up and fight Chavez Jr. at 168 right now. Keep it 100. You know what I mean? Like seriously, it's just no. But it doesn't.
We know if they're talking about fighting David Lemieux, he's at 160.
Yeah.
So that tells you right there that he can clearly fight at 160, right?
So that answers a whole lot of questions. By you drawing a parallel between him fighting Timothy Bradley and him fighting David Lemieux at 160, that answers everything we just had this conversation about. They don't want to lose.
It's not about the weight. It's about making sure, securing a win.
Securing the win. And his first Cinco de Mayo card, they want him to win. His first Mexican Independence Day card, they want him to win, which is fair, which is correct. Bring over 10,000 Mexicans. Let them buy tickets. You sell out the crowd. It makes perfect sense. It makes perfect money sense. Just how I explained to you guys about how Keith Thurman should not fight Errol Spence because it doesn't make financial sense. Errol Spence is ready to fight anyone in the world right now, but financially, it doesn't make sense. You see what I'm saying? And getting back, another thing, if Luis Ortiz loses December 19th to Brian Jennings on points, he's going to go in with the same strategy Canelo went in. He's not going to stand in front of if he stands in front of Luis Ortiz at the heavyweight division, where he's going to be outweighed by 20 pounds probably in that fight, he's going to get knocked the hell out. So he's going to go in with the same strategy as Cotto. If he can outpoint him like a Cuban, December 19th, Golden Boy's 1-3 in their biggest fights of the year. So Golden Boy knows Canelo.
They got to keep him winning.
Canelo is the golden ticket for Golden Boy. And that's the it's no good, bad, or indifferent. It's just the landscape of boxing.
It's the reality of it, like you said.
And it's leaning. And it's leaning more and more towards people are going to have to start bridging the gap between themselves and Al Heyman. It's just the reality of it.